Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name's Farah Halaby and I'm a professional Muslim life coach. Welcome to day 18 of my Ramadan Reflections. Today I'd like to speak to you about the power of dua, the power of asking, and a lot of other things actually, because a lot's happened today, subhanAllah. It's been a busy old day, but it's been a lovely day. And there's a couple of things that I'm drawn to reflect upon. So in the UK today, well I suppose in all over the world, it's bank holiday, it's Easter Sunday. There is also the Jewish festival of the Passover, and obviously we are in Ramadan. And this morning, pinging on my WhatsApp, various different groups, from community groups, neighbourly groups, and there were messages of wishing people a happy Easter and just general salutations. And it really got me to thinking that when we give those salutations, and what are we doing when we give those salutations? What are we saying, or what do we mean when we are wishing people Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, Happy Ramadan? What do people mean when they wish Happy Easter? What do people mean when they are wishing for a happy Passover? What does that actually mean? What do they want for you? What is that salutation? What is that greeting? And today, whilst the messages were pinging off, which was, and there was lots of other messages, returning the salutations, returning the messages and asking people what they were up to, subhanAllah. And so I sent out a message to say that, subhanAllah, on this bank holiday, on this Easter Sunday, there are the three Abrahamic faiths that are observing a festival very pertinent to each religion, and there is something quite special about that. There is something quite telling in the messaging, because whilst people were messaging Happy Easter, I was messaging Ramadan Mubarak. But the point is that the messaging, although it was wishing a salutation for a different festival, I think the messaging is the same. We're messaging and wishing and giving out tidings of peace, of respect, of love, of that general want for your neighbour, for your fellow man, for your fellow woman, for your fellow person, for your community, to be blessed with that sense of peace and that sense of reflection and space, that someone took the time out, even though, there are lots of messages pinging off. People didn't have to. Observing or not, people don't have to send messages. But when they do, what's behind that? And I was really drawn to reflect upon what that means for us. And there was lots that I was drawn to reflect upon today, which you will find out in this live. But it made me feel this morning that I was able to greet those messages with a return of peace and blessings, love, respect, and salutations to my neighbours, to my community, to the various different clubs that my children attend. It was all pinging off in all the WhatsApp groups, subhanAllah, and it was lovely. It just made me feel like I was able to put forward my own personal, what I meant, what I wanted to put out there. And today has been a general day of seeing those, when we're putting out a salutation, we're putting out a wish, a wish for peace, a wish for, it's a dua essentially. It's a desire. It's like, I pray for peace for you. I hope and pray and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you peace and blessings and tranquility and ease and sukoon in your life. That's what I'm saying, really. And today I have seen little pockets of salutations, of duas, of well wishes that I put out last Ramadan. Today, whilst I broke my fast with three of my little ones, my eldest, bless him, wasn't feeling too well, nor was my husband, but with my littlest ones at my parents' house and with my parents and two of my siblings, subhanAllah, as we were breaking our fast together, and then as my brother led the prayer and praying behind him and having those interactions, having those conversations, having my mum cook up a storm for the kids, my dad just doing his thing, and my uncle being there, and the family around, and everyone observing Ramadan in their own way and coming together as a family to do that, which was, mashallah, which was lovely. And it was a quantifiable goal, if you like. It was quantifiable in as much as it was evidence. I could see a dua materialize. I could see a dua from last Ramadan materialize in front of my eyes. And that led me to something else that happened today, subhanAllah, so much, that I attended a session, and mashallah, it was all about the power of dua, but not just sitting in the middle of your room, in the middle of nowhere, making dua and that being it. Asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but actually what you do with that asking. And I feel that sometimes we limit ourselves, we limit ourselves in what we ask, but we don't realise that we are asking the one who is limitless in his power to give. So we generally ask for the things that we think sound all right, which, is great. SubhanAllah, we're asking for good health. We're asking for, our, for stuff for our kids, stuff for our spouse, our community, our family, maybe in our careers, in our lives. But what we're asking for, is it quantifiable? Like, how would we know if that dua had been answered? When would we kind of get the memo or the say-so or the stamp that, yep, that's been done? So when we're asking, what are we really asking for? Are we just asking for things that we think we should be asking for? Or are we asking for generalised stuff that we don't really know how, if and when, not if, but how that would even look being answered? And when we're asking, in the asking in of itself, yes, we're told absolutely ask, but we have to do something with that asking. Like, asking is making dua, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But like I say, we can't, let's just say ask for a long, happy life and just sit in a room and do nothing to work towards that long, happy life. What does a long, happy life look like? How would you know? How long is long? How happy is happy? What what does that mean? So getting specific with our duas, getting realistic with our duas, and making them so that we have a quantifiable goal that we are looking to achieve, taking steps to achieve it, but the journey being part of that dua materializing. That's the bit that we are, we're tying our camel, we're doing our thing, we are making our preparations, we're doing something with that asking. We're not just asking out of nothing, we're asking and we're asking from a spiritual connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're connected to him, we're asking, and we're asking through the power of our thinking, because we can't feel him, we can't touch him, we can't see him. He is as we think of him. So we're using our power of, in the mind, and we're creating these duas, we're asking. So we're doing the spiritual connection and we're doing the psychological connection here. But physically, what actions are we taking to achieve that end? What actions are we taking to take us one step closer, then one step closer, more close to achieving that goal? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, ask and he shall give. We can ask, but we've got to do a bit of the work. We've got to try. We've got to put into practice. We've got to put into action the steps, because asking, making dua, thinking on its own is only part of it. It's what that dua, what that thinking, what that asking inspires in you, makes you feel. And if you believe that that dua is the most compelling dua that you can make, would you not be jumping out of bed first thing in the morning to get cracking on making that dua a realisation? Obviously with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help and only his permission, of course. But you've got to do your bit. I can say that I want to be fit and healthy and then not exercise and stuff myself with donuts. You know, all the asking in the world, I'm not doing anything to help myself. Or if I want, you know, to grow in my business, to nurture the relationship with my children, you know, I could say I want this, you know, I want pious children. I want, you know, children that, subhanAllah, are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, great. But what am I going to do to help that along? What am I going to need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help to actually do? What actions can I take with his help and with his guidance, obviously? But what am I inspired to do? And it comes down to when we're asking for dua, when we are making dua, when we are thinking about what it is that we want, what it is that we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you can ask for anything, and I use this example with my clients. If you walked into a shop that sold every single flavour of ice cream ever created in the world known to man, and you walked into the shop, what would you ask for? What flavour would you ask for? Would you go for one that you know? But how do you know there's not a flavour out there that is the one that is going to blow your socks off, that is going to be the perfect one for you, that you absolutely love? You don't know, because you don't know all the flavours in the world. Sometimes when we have too much choice, we don't know what to ask for. We go to what is safe, to what is known. We don't usually like to take risks when we're asking. But if we flip the belief, flip the thought that we are asking the one who is limitless in his power to give, and we are asking for something that we can get our hooks into, that we can really get behind, that we are inspired, that we are motivated to ask for, that we have decided is going to make the most compelling difference in our life. If that dua were to materialise, if that dua were to be answered between now and next Ramadan, let's just say, now and like in the next year, what would it be that we would ask for that would have the greatest significance, the greatest change, the greatest effect positively in our lives, that we would be staying up or waking up for tahajjud to pray for, inspired to get out of bed every single morning and work towards, be so grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he has given us the ability to actually work towards that goal, that he has given us the mind to even think of that dua, to think of what it is that we are most compelled to ask for, which is a bit of a mental twister, but just being super duper grateful that, mashallah, we've actually, you know, been able to make that supercharged, super concentrated, super focused dua, that we have decided that this is it. It could be a few things, but if you're working on, let's just say you spend a whole year, every single day, taking steps, 365 steps to achieving it. And on the way, you are having the most fun. You are the most super motivated. You are the most inspired, that you are loving the journey, and you know how the end result is going to make you feel already. And you are super excited that you feel it now. You know it's coming. You know that big hit, but you are so excited about working on it, about taking steps, that you are figuring out what steps you're going to be taking, and you do it every single day of your life. let's just forget for a year. Just do it for the rest of Ramadan. Whilst we are about to enter the last 10 nights of Ramadan, in a couple of nights, we're going to be entering the last 10 nights of Ramadan. What would inspire you to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that would make the greatest difference in your life, that you would ask him with conviction and faith, knowing that he will answer you, and that you have formulated, that you have put together an action plan, if you like, of how to achieve that goal, that dua. And you are so excited to be taking those steps, knowing that he will help you, knowing that he's there to support you, he's there to guide you, he's there for you, that you're not alone, that you ask and he will give. Have you made the dua from that place? Because, like I said, a lot of us, we don't. We limit ourselves, or we make general duas, and then we don't know if they've been answered. And subhanAllah, today I really saw, again, more examples of duas that I had made and have been making for the last couple of years materialise, come to fruition, being answered. And I cannot be anything but grateful, subhanAllah. And that gratitude, and he tells us again, like, I'm infinitely in awe of the rate of return on the investment that we as human beings make. We take one small step towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he takes 10 towards us. We ask him for a little. We ask him for, we go to him walking, he comes to us running. And I've said this before, but we don't have to do much to get a lot in return. And that just inspires more and more and more and more and more. And he tells us if we are grateful, he will give us more and more of that which we are grateful for. So I am grateful. My cats are going absolutely lally with the blinds at the moment. I'm going to make dua that my cats find something else to play with. But anyway, I've lost my train of thought now. Oh, I can't remember what I was saying, but anyway, when you make dua, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't constrict, don't restrict yourself when you're making your dua. Ask big, but ask realistically. Ask quantifiably. Ask for something that you have mulled over and decided will make the greatest impact in your life, what that looks like, how that's going to feel, that it is achievable within, give yourself, I don't know however long you want to give yourself, but within a time scale that you can utilize and work towards, and do something every single day, because we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single day. We breathe every single day. We do lots of things every single day. Our lives are not just moments in time. They are continuous. It is every single day. If you want to create the life that you want, to live a life you love, it starts now. It starts with one thought, one dua, one intention, one connective thought to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, placing yourself in the security of him, in his comfort, in his safety, knowing that he will give you, and having faith that he will be helping you every single step of the way. But you take your actions. He's not going to change the condition until we change what's within ourselves. This is the bit that you can do within yourself. The thinking process, the dua. What is dua? It's a thought. And when you have the belief in that thought, that belief, that feeling, that inspiration, of course you're going to get inspired by thinking about something that you know will change your life for the better. If it's going to change your life for the worse, of course you're not going to want to do that. No, not at all. If you feel that the change might be a little bit scary, but no, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's got you. So what have you got to lose, really? What if you don't make this dua? What if you just continue with your limited duas, which, you know, is fine, your general duas, which again, at least you're asking, subhanallah. But what if you just continued with that? Yes, I'm sure there would be blessings there somewhere. But what if you made the most focused and intention duas that you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you with, that you know ahead of time will have the greatest impact in your life, the greatest change, and you would be so inspired to be on that journey to achieving it, to make it, to seeing it come into fruition, seeing it being answered, and feeling whatever it is that you want to feel having achieved that dua, having achieved that goal now, knowing full well it's coming, loving the journey, loving the experience, knowing that you are taking steps, that you are taking leadership in your life to create the life that you want, to live a life you love, with the permission and with the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but knowing that He has your back and that you have full faith in Him that He will give it to you. Because you're asking, you may as well ask big. Because again, you are asking the one who is limitless in his power to give. If you are struggling right now, because I know a lot of ladies, I know a lot of, especially a lot of women who wear a lot of hats, a lot of different hijab, they have got different roles and they limit themselves in terms of each of their roles, whether it be within their business, whether it be within their careers or in their homes or in their community or in their familial situations or even with their personal health. And sometimes with their spiritual health, with their connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they limit themselves and they think, you know, you can't have it all, apparently. But if you've got Allah, you have got everything. You have got it all. The only one that's limiting themselves is you. So again, if you can't see your way past the limitations, if you play it safe with your general duas, if you want to but don't know how to step out of that comfort zone to make dua, to really connect, to really think about what is going to be the most profound change in your life that you can see happening and that you can take action to achieve with the will and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you're having problems with that, if that is something that feels too like other people can do it, I can't, or it is, you know, it's impossible to have it all, it's impossible to be able to do all of these things that I do, all of these roles that you have, that you perform well, that you just do all of them, like you feel that you can only excel in maybe one of them, or it sometimes might feel as if you're doing really well in one and you just think, why can't I, you know, transfer that to the other areas of my life? And then you seek comfort in the roles that you do really, really well and feel really rubbish about yourself in the ones that you feel that you aren't doing so well in. But when you are doing well, when you internally are doing well, when you are aligned with your spiritual, physical and psychological health, when you are on it, you bring the awesome to each of those roles. You bring the definition to each of those roles. And if you're having real problems with that, if you can't see your way past that, then let's have a conversation, because I can most certainly help you with that. You can DM me or email connect@farahhalaby.com for my next available consultation, inshallah, and we can talk about how I can help you through that by taking you through the process that I take my clients through, by helping them manage their mind, their emotions, their feelings, their behaviours, themselves, so that they are taking leadership and they are creating the life that they want, to live a life that they absolutely love, subhanallah. Now, I know I've been talking for an awful long time, so I'm going to go now. But as always, I pray that you are safe, well, happy and healthy. And inshallah, I shall be on tomorrow for another, I was going to say little conversation, but it's probably going to be a long conversation. But I'll be on tomorrow anyway. But for now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.